Jacob Richmond.
Hey, Coach. A question about Hakeem. I know over the offseason he worked with Coach Manning a lot, or not, sorry, Coach Brady a lot on his shot. And just from the beginning of the season to now, where he's consistently scoring double digits, can you talk about how you've seen him evolve as a shooter?
Yeah, I mean, we all got off to a rough start this season shooting the basketball, and guys have continued to work on their craft, continued to believe in the work that they put in. And now we're starting to see guys make shots. And Akeem is certainly one of those guys. He's shooting the ball at a very high, efficient clip, not only from the field, but also from the free throw line. And he's someone that we depend on in regards of making the right play. You're not always going to make shots. That sometimes you're going to make them, sometimes you're not. But you got to be ready to shoot. You got to be confident to shoot. And he's doing a good job of that, especially as of late. He's ready to shoot on the catch. He's knocking down shots, and then he's able to get into the paint and make plays. Defensively, he does so much for us. But, offensively, he has really started to, be a guy that we depend on to make shots and to score the ball for us.
Emily?
Hi. It seems like Michigan is still maybe a bit unsure as to who will be able to play. As a staff, how do you game plan that? Like, do you almost have to have different sets of, like, if these people are able to play, this is what we're going to do. If not, like, how do you navigate that as a opposing team staff?
We game plan like they're going to have everybody on their roster and a couple more guys we don't know they're at. That's how we game plan. So, we're expecting all their guys to be available and play. And if they're not, then we go from there. That's just the way you have to handle it, from how we feel. Because, we could get to the game tomorrow and, who knows what happens, right? And so you got to prepare like they're going to put their best team out there on the court, and you make adjustments from there.
And then I was just asked quickly about Julian. The jump from high school to Big Ten at his position, I mean, how difficult is that acclimation process? And on the same note, like, how have you seen him grown in his comfort level with facing these really good teams?
Anytime that you go from high school to Power 5 basketball, there's a jump. Julian's jump, and not just Julian's, but most big guys' jump is a little bit more difficult from the standpoint of this. In high school, you're usually the biggest guy in your league when you're his size. And so anytime you're playing a game, especially in league play, and a smaller guy runs into you and bounces off of you, they call a foul on you, right? So most of the time, big guys in high school spend the majority of their time running around in the paint trying to avoid contact, because when a little guy hits you, they get the sympathy call. That's how it works. It's how it's always worked. So now he's getting adjusted to competing and banging against bodies every day, right? Every day it's physical, it's tough, it's Big Ten basketball, and he's making that adjustment. So when he started out the season, he went through the adjustment of, hey, I'm in college basketball now. These are adjustments I got to make. Now he's going through another set of adjustments in league play. The non-conference games gave us a chance to see what he can really do, show glimpses, but it also showed our opponents. And so now they have a pretty good scouting report or book on him on how they want to attack him or things they want to do. And so now he's got to make another adjustment of thinking, instead of playing checkers, we want our guys to think chess. Let's think 4, 5, 6 moves down the road opposed to 1 or 2. And Julian is getting into that mindset now. But his understanding of the game has always been good. He's a sponge. He wants to learn, and he's continuing to get better and better. And he's just scratching the surface.
Chris Heidel.
Hey, Coach Manning, it's Chris Heidel from Hermiston Radio. I talked to you last year when you were in the ACC, and welcome to Maryland.
Okay.
Talk about the difference between Big Ten basketball and ACC basketball. I know you played in the Big Eight. What's the difference between last year and this year, and is it more competitive than the Big Ten?
You know what? I look at the Big Ten conference and I see a lot of parity. I see a lot of similarities just from style of play. It's a physical league, but yet and still there's a lot of skill, and you get up and down. From what I experienced in the ACC, there was different variety of styles of play, if you will, in the ACC. But, in the Big Ten, I think, obviously there's outstanding coaches, and then, you got some really talented players. But I think it's probably a more physical brand of basketball, just across the board. It's probably the biggest change or difference that I see in between those two leagues.
And if I can follow up real quick, have you talked to and met Coach Howard before? Have you ever met him?
Yeah, I know Juwan very well. We were teammates professionally.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Safe trip to Michigan.
Thank you.
Sam Ostry.
Hey, coach, with everything the coaching staff has had to go through in this entire season, have some lower level guys like GAs, video guys, managers, have they had increased roles in recent weeks? And how is that going if they have? And, just compared to all your experiences coaching and around, like, is just the most like collaborative effort in terms of the coaching staff that you've been a part of?
Well, all coaching staffs are very collaborative. You share, you bounce things off of one another. Everyone is willing to pitch in and help. And this year for us, that is certainly the case, especially when you look and you see that we're down numbers of coaches, just to be honest with you. So everyone is pulling a little bit more weight than what they would normally pull. And very thankful for that from our GAs to our managers, obviously to our coaches, to our film guy and Brett. So everyone is doing a little bit more because of their professionalism and also because of their love for Maryland. And, I think it's a great experience for a lot of the guys that are just now getting into this profession. They get a chance to get their feet wet and in a lot of different areas. And I think that only helps them as they continue to move down the line in this profession. But to answer your question, yes, everyone has added responsibilities to their plate with all the changes that we have going on.
Dr. Ryan McFadden.
Hey, coach, throughout these games this year, it's like you guys seem to be in it throughout, but can't finish down the straight. I was curious, when you guys have leads, is this hard? Does sustaining leads make it hard when you're getting little offensive production from your bench? To sustain those leads in games, does that make it hard when you're not getting that offense production from the bench?
No, Ryan, the deal of it is we have to continue to do the things that we did to get the lead, right? We got to make sure we handle that prosperity well. We have to make sure that we take it one possession at a time. And that's been the message to our guys. Let's go one possession at a time. Every game that we've played in, we've put ourselves in a situation where we know we can compete with our opponents. And now it's just a matter of finishing the performance, I guess, if you will. There have been games where we didn't get off to a good start and we played a good second half. There was a game where we got a good first half and didn't finish the second half the way we wanted to. So right now we just got to find a way to continue to take steps, get better, and put it all together. And we're close. Guys are continuing to come out and have great energy, great attention to detail in practice. Practices are spirited, and the guys feel really good about competing. And that's the biggest thing that you want, knowing that we go into every game, we're going to compete and we're going to give ourselves a chance to win. We just got to make sure that when it's all said and done, we've got one more point than our opponent. And we've come short in a few of those, obviously in some of those games, especially in league play, but we're close.
All right. Any last questions for Coach? All right. Thanks, Coach Manning. Appreciate the
All right,
time.
thank you. All right.
Safe travel to Michigan.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.